Today we're working on a really exciting project here at Paramount. We've got a stunning, really stunning African Bubinga slab, an absolute mammoth of a slab of wood. This single slab is 12 feet long, final dimension by 52 inches wide. It's a little over 12 feet when we got it. We trimmed off just enough to square it off and try to really preserve everything we could. So here we are flattening it on our massive CNC from Avid. Inlaying these V stabilizers that we started doing last year really helps keep the slab stable over time. Moving it right into the shop, running it, whole bunch of passes through the wide belt until we got it to a point that we're really happy with. Good surface to start the next step of the process. Next up, we trim to final length. Here we are really finalizing the size at 12 feet. And in those cutoffs, if you notice, we don't throw them away. We really try to use all that we can. So here we are taking those little couple inches that we trimmed off and actually using them as our inlays for butterflies to stabilize anywhere on the slab that we deem there's a crack or an imperfection or something we want to make sure doesn't open up over time. So this is a really sort of tedious process that you really want to take your time with. We put our whole team on this, really, 3 people. Wanted to crank these out. I think there was a little over 30 at the end. Each one has to be hand chiseled out after you hog out the material with the router. We size each individual bow tie to fit like a glove. Once we're sure that the fit is good, we get some good TB3 glue in there and hammer it in. Now that we've got all of the bow ties hammered in, we let the glue set overnight. And when we start back in the morning, we are going right to trimming off all the extra material, getting all the bow ties truly flat. And then they're just waiting for final sanding now. So we go through, sand the whole thing up to 220 grit, which really gives it a nice glass-like finish. Slap our brand on there, looking good. And on to the fun part. This is what everybody pays the big bucks for, the finishing process. We're using a Rubio monocoat process here with our big Gem Industries buffer, really layering it on, making sure that we really press the finish into the wood. Now we can do this process just by hand with a cloth or an applicator, but using this buffer really makes sure we massage the oil in, get a deep penetration on the oil, and that ensures a good finish that's gonna last. Once the underside's done, we pop in the V stabilizers. Now we know the slab's not gonna move. This was an ambitious task for 2 people, but we got this thing flipped. And now we can start on the top. Now keep an eye on the bow ties here that we inlaid. You can kind of see them here now, and as we buff them, they sort of disappear. You really have to look for them once you buff on the oil on the top to find the bow ties again, which I think is pretty fun. It sort of ends with a result of the more you look at this piece, the more you see. Stunning, absolutely stunning piece. And now we begin on the bases. We got a bunch of really exceptional 8/4, that means 2-inch thick, solid ribbon mahogany. This stuff is absolutely stunning. The exact species is sapelli. It is an absolutely beautiful wood. I think it's going to complement the Bubinga really well. It puts off a very similar color when finished. Nice sort of deep red hue. Really, really elegant. So here we have our master craftsman, Ryan. He headed this project, milling up all this material. Here we are gluing up for the base. So we actually had to glue up 4 separate pieces of this mahogany in order to achieve the width that we needed to accomplish this table base. This thing is just an absolute mammoth of a base. We put these dominoes in. This is our spacer gap going in next. You'll see how this all goes together at the end. And the other side. So this is 1 table leg here. And let our clamps do the rest. Once they sit overnight, Ryan comes over to our sliding table saw and trims them to final length. removing all that extra material. And now we get back to our center support beam. We have a lot of really precise joinery to do on this piece. Mostly we're accomplishing this with the dado stack on our table saw, rejoining to make sure everything stays true, stays square. We were really, really happy with how this came out. Every little detail just fit together like a glove. And I think you'll like how this all comes together at the end. The assembly of this is designed to be robust, super durable, really heavyweight, but easy to put together and disassemble if you ever needed to move the table. And after we get some good joints cut with the table saw, we come back and we have to clean everything up with our hand tools. So we break out our sharpest chisels, we clean out all the corners, make sure each corner is really sharp and square, and we can proceed on to the sanding process. Once we have the main faces sanded, we can start our pre-finishing. This is going essentially everywhere there isn't a joint. We want to leave the joints free of any sort of oil because we want to leave an opportunity for the glue to get a really good bond later, or if it's a part that's being assembled, we will put finish in the joint, but we do not sand those joints to the same degree we sand the rest of the surfaces. So again, it can be reassembled smoothly. Put some adjustable feet on the bottom of the bases, and now we can get the money shot. We can lay in all the pieces, simply put together with a few long lag screws and some wooden wedges. Look at that, fitting together like a glove. We'll put that top brace in next. It's about as good as it gets. The top goes on now, and we got finally our first view at the completed table. This is one of our proudest creations to date. What a special slab top. This is available for sale in our showroom. We had this special slab. Typically, we'll wait until somebody commissions us to do something with it, but this piece deserved to be finished and deserved to be shown off. I hope you guys enjoy it.